Christina here for Card Player TV for another edition of the Poker Buzz. The World Series of Poker Europe main event has just come to an end, and the winner is Barry Shulman, CEO of Card Player. He defeated 334 players to take down the top prize of more than $1.2 million. We've got him on the phone to talk about his win, as well as his son, Jeff Shulman, who is at the November 9 final table. Hi Barry, how are you doing?
Hi Christy, I'm doing great.
Well, congratulations on winning the World Series of Poker Europe main event. You've got to be tired.
I am so exhausted. You're correct, but I'm also still amped up, so I haven't exactly slept yet.
Absolutely. Well, Barry, congratulations on such an amazing accomplishment. Now, tell me, going into the final table, what was your chip count and how was your confidence playing against these other amazing players?
Going into the final table, I believe I was about dead average in chips, and I was in fourth place, which is quite ironic because that's exactly where Happy is in the main event of the regular World Series. So that was kind of fun. As far as my confidence, I've been playing, in my opinion, as good a poker as I can play all week, and it was an extremely tough field, but I felt pretty good because my game's been good, and I tend to play better against tough fields and when I'm focusing, and I've been in very sharp focus lately.
Now, going into the final table, like you said, you were fourth in chips, as is Happy at the November 9. So what was your conversations like speaking with Jeff and talking about a double Shulman World Series of Poker final table?
Well, we just kind of thought it would be a hoot, except, and it ended up being a hoot. That's before I got there. And then after I got there, we figured, okay, this is kind of equivalent to, in sports, making the Olympics team as opposed to getting the gold medal. So we both made the team, and then I got lucky and I got my gold medal. So now it'll be his turn to go get his.
Now, along the way to your victory, was there any turning point at the final table that really got you thinking that you could win this thing? You were average for a while. What was the turning point for you?
Well, pretty much for the first 12 hours or so, I felt like a spectator. In fact, that's been going on for 3 days now. I just wasn't playing hands, and I'm not, just point of information, not complaining. I just wasn't getting hands, and I'd somehow or another figure out a way to pick up a pot about once an hour, and I was watching other people play poker. And then, and in fact, I think, didn't Daniel knock out 5 or 6 of the players? Let's see, there's 9. I think he knocked out all but 1. So by the time we got to heads up, Daniel had a commanding chip lead, but I was feeling relaxed and happy to have been there. I mean, guys kept going broke and going broke and going broke, and I was winning enough hands to be able to pay my antes. And then definitely the definitive hand was when we were heads up. Many hours into it, we were heads up. And actually, let me back up a little bit. He started with a commanding chip lead in about, we were playing 90-minute levels. I would pick up about $1 million. There's a total of $10 million. And I went from $3 million to $4 million to $5 million to $6 million. It was a pretty steady increase, just for whatever reason. And then things went back the other way, and Daniel took the lead. And then it started getting very late. We had been playing, 14, 15 hours, and I had an ace. I had a suited ace, and he had a pair of aces. I was in hearts, and 2 hearts hit the board, and we got all in. And I was fortunate, and I made the flush on the turn, and that doubled me up and gave me a commanding lead. and that was the key hand of the evening. And from then, I assumed I was destined to win, although we played many more hours, and it wasn't quite as easy as I had assumed.
What was the key for you to keep your focus, even through the emotional roller coaster that the final table had been, and especially heads up with the ups and downs? What was the key?
Actually, I attribute a lot of it to the fact that I've been eating very well lately and exercising, and I've been back in the gym on a very regular routine, and I didn't have the type of fatigue that I've been having the last several years. Obviously, when you play for many hours, you get fatigued, but I was physically in better shape, and I noted, like, for example, a couple nights ago, every single person at the table was in their 20s except for me. And we've been playing very long hours, and it really made a difference to allow me to maintain my focus.
Well, with such great structure, what was your antidote to Daniel Negreanu's small ball style? How did you combat that to finally take this title down?
Well, I have a similar style, and furthermore, we played a lot of hands, and we played relatively quickly instead of doing a lot of theatrics and spending hours and hours thinking and then folding. And both of us, I thought, were playing a very careful, thought-out, measured game. And that was just fine with me because I didn't want to, again, I was in focus and not, I mean, I was all amped up. It was a lot of hours, and it wasn't like the old days where I was just so tired I wanted to just get it in and either play a big hand and win now or go home. So it was fine with me. And the last time I played, it was a couple of years ago, probably more than a couple of years ago, the last very major event I won, not counting my bracelet, subsequent to that was at the for Queens Hotel, and I played heads up with Al in the main event with Alan Cunningham for 5 hours, who's another outstanding player who is a very outstanding player who likes to play a lot of small pots, and I won that one playing the same style. So that was kind of important to me. So that's pretty much my style when I'm playing my game.
Well, you mentioned your bracelet in that one as well. Where does this accomplishment rank among all of those that you have had in your poker career?
It's right up at the top, on top of all of them.
Well,
this was by far the most difficult field that I've ever played with. We were talking about it actually at the final table. It's because it was a relatively small field. It was 334 people, so it's not like the 6,500 people that were in the main event that we had in Vegas. But the players were so tough. It was the top European pros, many of the top pros from the States, and there weren't people that were giving their money away, and everybody was tough. And so it took an element of luck out of it, because sometimes part of the luck is being at the table with someone who's just throwing their money away, and then somebody happens to get it. So that's lucky to get a chip lead, or vice versa. Somebody who's very good might unluckily have somebody call when they have way the worst of it, and then they get lucky, and then that breaks a good player. We didn't see a lot of that in this tournament. It was great, solid poker, and I'm sure it's going to make a great televised event. They had an awful lot of cameras on many different tables all throughout the event, and it's going to be a very expensive production. I'm sure they did a real good job on it.
Absolutely. Congratulations again. Now we've got to concentrate on Jeff Shulman and the World Series of Poker main event in November 9. Well, father leads the way. Now, what advice are you going to give Jeff now that you have experience going in fourth in chips and taking down the title?
He certainly doesn't need any advice from me on how to play poker. He is far more stable than I am. He constantly plays his A game, and he's absolutely is a genius at putting people on hands far better at that than I am. And if the cards break even, then he'll win it.
Well, as if it wasn't already exciting enough, this amps it up a ton, and we're really proud of you, Barry. Thank you so much for stopping and taking the time to interview with us.
Well, thank you for having me on your program. I think this is the first time you invited me.
Oh, Barry, you're always invited.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Get some rest.
Okay, bye.